It's a very difficult question. Lots of people ask, why are we here, what are we doing here, what's the meaning of life? And there will be a true purpose, and somehow, seemingly, in my opinion, we need help to see that. We all want to know that. It's a strange thing that we have all this urge in our inner self to know from what are we doing here, where are we going? Are we going some way? And I think the crop circles help us to understand that, what our true purpose is, and assist us to actually get to that point. I came to Wiltshire, and this was the very, very first crop circle I saw. The very first one I walked through. Now my background is mathematics. I study mathematics, so when I saw this, I thought, wow, I know this, because this is Pythagoras. The geometry that's behind the crop circles is exactly the geometry that you will use as a human when you would try to reconstruct them. So when you use a compass and a straight edge, but you're not measuring anything, you're just purely constructing, then you will see you can make these crop circles by pure construction techniques. And the interesting thing is that when you do that, you will see that the crop circles have skipped certain steps. So in a way, they follow our mind, the human mind, because they use the same way as we would use geometry. But on the other hand, they skip little steps to tell actually, if we want it, we don't need this. It's just to show you that we have a connection. There's something going on between you and us. And that's why we skip these steps, but on the other hand, we follow your way of thinking and your way of working. And I find that very intriguing. Now, it's clear that this points somewhere. Nobody can deny that this is some kind of error. And that triggered me. Where is this arrow pointing at? And I will show you where it's pointing at that spot there. That appeared exactly there. This is an illustration out of Alice in Wonderland, and that will show you that this doorway is something indicating about different worlds you can travel through, different dimensions. What was really the question is, this doorway again is pointing somewhere. Let's have a look. It's Sugar Hill. And what is on this spot where it's pointing at? Nothing. Until that one appeared. I'm convinced, and I've studied that as well, that the crop circles in itself are not separate events. They're not just separate, here's a crop circle, there's a crop circle, there's a crop circle. When you look from higher up, from a bigger picture, you will see they're all connected. For you to discover look at the bigger picture, go over it, don't look at the detail, don't get lost in the little things, don't be on your knees, but try to get wings and fly over it and see the big picture. And to make it clear to us, it shows us that it's connected to geometry in the landscape. I think, again, to wake us up from just see the bigger picture. Just don't look at the little details, but see the bigger picture, and then you will see it's actually one. There's only one message there, one signal, one beep.
This is a crop circle that appeared on the 1st of June 2008 near Barbary Castle. Because of the terraced spiral formation, it has a very clear relation to a crop circle near Barbary Castle in 1990. It really stands out in that it is divided into 10 equal parts. First, we have in the first curve 3 layered segments. Then only one is layered over the others. Then we have 4, 1, 5, 9 segments, 2, 6 segments, 5 and 4. And then we find a number we can read, and that is 3.14192654. Even with the decimal point in the right place. And if you are so inclined to read it this way, there are even 3 circles at the end, which serve to emphasize the infinite nature of this number. In principle, when you see this, it is exactly what you could imagine when you think of how intelligent messages can be sent in the form of geometry.
Very many of the crop circles go through this exercise of relating the length of the perimeter of a square to the precise circumference measurement of a circle. This is squaring the circle. The interpretation of pi is another matter, but let us establish the basis that is saying pi. Can't argue it. Now, you know my interpretation. My interpretation would be that pi is the key to a mediation between the square material world and the circular world of spirit. The square, traditionally, in many cultures, represents the earth. Solid stuff. And the circle represents heaven, God, the divine. And the problem has always been how to bring the earth nearer to heaven, or how to bring the square nearer the circle. Simple as that. I think I can safely say that people can't do this. Human beings cannot continue every year to produce completely new themes of design. I mean, it takes my breath away.
The night this formation came down, it was windy. This is a high altitude location. This takes a battering by the weather. So anyway, we were with two other researchers. We were the first little group of people to come in here. No footprints, no mud, no broken plants. All the centres were perfect. No sign of human activity or entry into this field. It seemed almost impossible that that could be the work of, a few humans going out and smashing the plants down with pieces of wood. It just seemed far too sophisticated, far too perfect. Some of these designs, you couldn't draw them out on a piece of paper freehand or with a desk lamp, let alone, 1,000 feet wide in a wheat field, in the dark, in the rain. Sometimes it just seemed impossible. The new crop circles start coming every April, and we stick the pins in the map exactly where the crop circles are and put numbers on the pins so people can just come in, find out which crop circles are exactly where they are in the land related to the photographs, and then go out and experience the phenomena for themselves.
We're coming here for over 10 years, and we've seen many things in those 10 years which cannot be ascribed to natural phenomena. For example, lights floating over the fields, lights falling from the sky. Last year we saw big floating balls of an aluminium shape, 5 in total number, floating over the wheat, disappearing into the ground, reappearing later and disappearing into the trees. We made photographs of that, so we think that for a part of the crop circles are most likely man-made, but another part is, to our impression, not.
Start missing, and then it's
Right.
more special. Right. If it's more than semicircles, that's a real. I mean, on one particular occasion, I was camping somewhere not far from this area, actually. It was a horrible, cold, windy, dark, rainy night. I had a sudden urge to look out of my tent, and unzipped, looked out, and there's an orange ball of light. Big globe of kind of goldeny, orangey light hanging in the sky, which seemed to be about 30 feet over me. I mean, what the hell was that? I mean, it was anywhere long enough to just for me to notice and reaffirm that it physically was there, and then blink out, and that's it. Almost as if they want to be seen for some reason. It's as if they provide a little bit of proof that something really weird is happening, but not quite enough to provide definitive proof for the world. There's just enough to keep our attention, as it were.